Right, hello, yeah, Saturday, quick review, went out yesterday, called in at HMV, did think this one out for months, did do sort of a bit of a review. When I read about it, I thought this was interesting. Battlestar Galactica, the original series on Blu-ray. Now this is interesting, I didn't think it would out till next year. And I'm hoping they're going to release Buck Rogers, you know, because you know, same creator, Glenn A. Larson, we all worship him, do you know what I mean? So there you go. Not really, only joking. Glenn, you're going to be missed, mate. Right, so I went out, I got the series on Blu-ray yesterday. I've managed to clear one disc and I've jumped several discs to look at the extras. It's a double set, which is interesting. Here it is. Right, there's Battlestar Galactica, nice little Cylon head on. Would have been good if you got like a bit more of a novelty box for it. There probably is another country somewhere. But here we go. That's the back, as you can see. Battlestar Galactica, the complete original series on Blu-ray. Right, let's have a look. Right, you get two. You get Battlestar Galactica, the original series, complete classic. Do forgive it for some of the awful episodes. There is one or two stinkers in there. We'll go to them shortly. But you know, rest of the series, top marks. You know, so that's that. Right. What is good about this? When I put it on, right, when it started, I was expecting loads of things in menu, but it was just a picture of them with a map. Battlestar Galactica and episodes and all the usual menu bits. I was expecting like loads of souped up battles, but when I actually started, like you know, the pilot episode, Saga of a Star World, when I put it on, they absolutely superb. The music has been cleaned up a lot, absolutely brilliant, because you know, you get that good feeling from the music. But when you actually get to see the Galactica again, I called it Galactus then. The Galactica, what was good about it is, do you remember I saw this at the cinema and it was just coming out with that new stereo sound at the time. This was back like really early, really, it must have been 1980 or just after that time. I was about 13 or something. Parents told me to say the cinema was vibrating, and you know, in the cinema, the chairs, you know, when you saw the Battlestar. Well, in this, because I've got surround sound on my sound bar, the room was shaking, and that's what I lit. Sort of took me back to that, you know. Now with it being on Blu-ray, I know it's sort out on DVD, but actually on Blu-ray, you see the details a lot more. There's more lights on the ships, and the explosions are more colourful, and it's just the scenery and everything. It's more clearer. So, you know what I mean? And it's interesting because when you see the details in the back, you're actually seeing a bit of mess and like rust and stuff, and it's quite impressive, you know. So I know the thing they say about Battlestar Galactica, they recut all the film saying, you know, you can predict where a Cylon Viper's going to blow up. Yes, I know, we know that, but it's not about that, is it? It's about the story and where it's going and the journey, you know. So, you know, we're going into this, but there is some real top stories on this. Patrick McNear's Count Iblis and the Beings of Light in the comics called the Seraphs, and he's meant to be like the devil, but they're evolved humans, and you know, which you've got to realise that the new BSG is good for this time, you know what I mean? But this is the mother and the daddy of it to me, because it should have gone to a second season, do you know what I mean? And they should have continued the story, because I mean, it had so much potential to be a very deep programme. But as we go through all the episodes, you know, like you get the standard story ones where they land on a planet and the Cylons are there, and like the one with One Eye is the cowboy episode, which is alright, you know, it's watchable, and you know, you jump ahead through certain episodes. For me, my favourite episode of the entire Battlestar Galactica series is The Hand of God. You know, I know that's the final episode. I just think that is superb. I don't know, it really shows you what this programme was about. I know that it's just the scale of it, you know what I mean, when they take on that base style. I'd say my second favourite episode is the one Patrick McNee I'm not going to name all episodes, well I could, but I'm not going to bother. Because I don't know all episodes. I used to do, but I don't, and so some people do. It's not about that, it's about me going into it. So like, I like the one with Patrick McNeil and the Beams of Light, and the comics have got the Serifs or whatever. You know, that great episode, 2-parter, do you know what I mean? That's one of my favourites. And we keep going on. Obviously Commander Kane, the Pegasus. Lloyd Bridges plays it beautifully. To me, he is Commander Kane. He also looks like an uncle of mine. You know, and every time I see him I can't stop laughing. But I won't go into that. So I mean, there is some great episodes. John Kalikas is Boltar. He just plays such a snivelly, creepy guy. You just can't help but being in hysterics. And the chair, the mystery of the Cylon chair. How the hell they get up there is beyond me. And you know, when he sat, it must be uncomfortable when he sat up there all day like that, you know, ordering "Speak, Centurion," you know, going around like that. But you know, alright, it's got a few faults, but it's you know, the potential of this series is just absolutely superb. They could have gone so far with this, because I know it was the late 70s, really early 80s. You know, yes, you get this back in 70s, it was like that, do you know what I mean? I mean, look at Buck Rogers. You know, I always liked to say where that Galactica would have met Buck Rogers. It would have been so good because it was from the same creator. But altogether, I mean, as we move on into, like, we're getting to after episode 10, we start getting into like the Terror episode with the Eastern Alliance, the 2-parter with the family, you know, like the family Robinson on the farm. Oh, do you know what I mean? That, I thought it was crap, that. It was terrible, but I did like the whole thing of the Eastern Alliance. You know, I thought they had some kind of potential, but then they sort of demeaned them in later episodes. Like, you know, and then when Apollo went to the planet Terror, and the episodes, you know, where they were gonna, the Eastern Alliance were gonna nuke it, and they were gonna nuke the other lot, and they were all gonna nuke them, and you know, the Galactica comes in like a big god and stops it all. It's quite interesting stuff with the Beams of Light. John Devon from Knight Rider comes in and, you know, helping him out. I mean, that was alright. I just thought that it might have been quite good to have had them in for a while. They could have done something with them. But also with that, it did lose its way a bit, didn't it? You know, the episode, I know there were production problems and that, you know, so it went on. So then we, you know, eventually when we got past the Eastern Alliance thing, we moved into later episodes, like the one with the prison ship. You know, was it him that got awarded an award, he's got that ship. And it's the one from Battle Beyond the Stars. He used to be an ex-Battlestar, come on, he gets a medal, but there's a Revolution on ship and he's a bit cruel. That was pretty standard, not a bad episode, but it's the sort of copy that in new series, didn't they? I mean, the new series took so much from this, and they made it, because of today, it got more into, how do you say it, more darker, more shady, you know, more grey areas, which they didn't sort of do that with a lot of TV. I found this was quite dark for its time, really, the potential of this, you know. And I'm looking forward to a remake. Have you seen the Richard Hatch's 4-minute trailer and did a full half-hour pilot, which I'd love to see, Galactica the Second Coming. For me, that's where I would have liked to have seen Battlestar Galactica go. Do you know what I mean? I really would like to have seen it go that way. But, you know, I'm not going to diss the modern one. I thought the modern one stood its ground. I really did. But I'll leave that review for another time. So that's it, really. I mean, the extras, I'm looking now. Battlestar Galactica extras, you've got, remember in Battlestar Galactica, Glenn A. Larson, the creation of Battlestar Galactica, Stu Phillips composing the score, the Cylons, documentary about the Cylons, documentary about the Daggett, and a load of deleted scenes, you know, which is sort of interesting. Just started up on its own now, you know. So that's sort of fascinating. So I'm gonna give the original series of Battlestar Galactica 8 out of 10, I think. Alright, possibly an 8.5. It's because of the terrible, there is 4 to 5 terrible episodes in there, but they're allowed that on. The rest of it, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. The Blu-ray quality on this is superb, it's well worth it. Right, so now I'm going to go into the second part. Right, hang on. Is there any more extras? Well, yeah, no, that's the extras on it. You know, we've got audio commentary with Dirk Benedict, Richard Hatch, and Jefferson. I mean, there's a lot of deleted scenes on here you never got on other DVD, you know what I mean? And I've just sat through with them. But I'm going to enjoy watching this over the weekend. So that's Battlestar Galactica, 8.5 out of 10 I'm going to say for that. Right, so I don't know what to make of this, right? This is the second part of the box set where you get, now I paid 40 quid for this from HMV. Now, for me, I'm sort of half and half on this one. I don't know what you're going to think, but do you class it as an official sequel? Galactica 80. Now, it's a shame it's not really that what it's advertising on the cover. I mean, the Find Earth, we're like this, you know, they've got this Milky Bar kid called Dr. Z who just gets on my nerves. Do you know what I mean? They nicked him from an advert somewhere, shoved him in a room full of tellies, and do you know what I mean? And he's like all seeing, all knowing, right? So silence, so you know, they go to Earth and then they send down teams to investigate Earth and find these pockets of freedom, which democracies, you know, right? Okay. And its story's quite weak, you know. I mean, in the pilot, the 3-part pilot episode, I like the scene where the Cylons attack Los Angeles. It's quite interesting, you know. But they nicked that whole scene from, I think, the film Earthquake and dubbed in the fighters. So, Lorne Greene still plays a very good, like, tired sort of leader of the people, which is good. But originally, we're going to be like, because they wanted to go such a, after the first series got cancelled. When they wrote in, they, you know, there was such a fan base that demanded it back. What happened was they came up with the idea that it was going to be a time travel series every week, and that somehow that Boltar is now the head of the, you know, the 12 tribes of man or whatever, and you know, they have time travel technology, and they were going to go back. He was going to go back through time and try and advance the Earth technologically, you know, so they can catch up, so the Earth can fight with the Cylons. I mean, that interesting concept, but I mean, if you're going to go Doctor Who or Temple, it couldn't be done because they don't cease to exist. So it can't. It wouldn't have worked anyway, and we wouldn't have fallen for it as an audience. But we would have watched it because it's seen Vipers and, you know, and all that. So the one with other one they did investigate, and then we got the Super Scouts. The Super Scout really got me fucking nerves. They did, and I mean there is one or two not too bad episodes. I mean, like when the Cylons were out the Earth, but you know, Wolfman Jack, he's not a bad episode really. Do you know what I mean? It's semi alright. Do you know what I mean? But again, the new series did nick the human thing from them because there's a human Cylon, isn't there? You know, create the image of man, and it starts to get a bit interesting there. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, we only see Boltar in the film version because the edit is like a film version at cinema, didn't they? Just to milk it for some money. You see like a spliced clip of Boltar, you know. So that was it really. But obviously, you go through the series. It's going to be interesting to watch the extras on this, see what there is. I hope there's some decent extras. Let's have a look. Is there any extras? No, it doesn't seem to say there's any extras. No, I don't think there's any extras on this. Alright, and there could be, well, I don't know, I've got to go through this and watch it. It's not saying much on the box. Let's have a look in here. Battlestar Galactica. Bonus material. Oh yeah, there could be of the epic series. No, I don't think there is any extras on 80. I hope there's something. I'd like to say something. But it was terrible. But the best episode is Whatever Happened to Starbuck. I know they were going to make another episode because it got cancelled. The Wheel of Fire or something, where Starbuck gets saved on that planet. Apparently it was all a test for him to become like a person of being a beam of light or something. You know, so that was where it would have gone. So it would have sort of been interesting. But apart from, you know, Whatever Happened to Starbuck, I'm sorry, Galactica's, I'm going to give it a 4. Galactica 80, I'm going to give a 4. I will sit through it, I will watch it, I will analyse it, I will enjoy it, and I will tear it apart. Right, another cool thing, it could get half a, well alright, 5 then. I can't even give it 5, I want to. Right, I'm going to give it 3 out of 10. Right. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it an extra point. Viper bikes, now they're cool. Come on, I mean Viper bikes, I mean they were just so cool, weren't they? The rest of the 7 points, Dr. Z, get rid of it. You know, sending back to Milky Bar adverts. Xavier, the baddie of the week, running about trying to change history. Standard story, not really much going on. Do you know what I mean? That general running about, Colonel trying to find out if aliens exist. The little bit at the end of every, remember end of year Project Blue Book on credits, sort of trying to make it a bit more interesting. But it didn't really work for me, so I don't want to consider Galactica 80 a sequel to Battlestar Galactica, because it's a classic, you know what I mean? But I'm going to leave that down to you. Is it official canon or not? Or is it just cheap knock-off, rip-off? Do you know what I mean? Kent McCord, good actor. Barry Van Dyke, good actor. Lorne Greene, you're a legend. You know, Glenn A. Larson brought some classic stuff out. God's sake, I even like Highwaymen, you know what I mean? And that was just terrible, but it, you know what I mean? It's got that coolness about it. Well, it has for me. And Knight Rider were alright, you know, until about 2nd season. Right, so that's my review on the Blu-ray Battlestar Galactica box set. I think for 42 quid, I think for what you get it's well worth it. Now I could have waited a few months, put down a computer shop and bought it for 10-15 quid. But I wanted this because I really want to see it in Blu-ray. Quality of the Blu-ray, it really brightens it up, and it is, you know, I don't think it's dated that much really. So anyway, that's my review for Battlestar Galactica Blu-ray. See you on the next video. Please subscribe, let me know your opinions. Speak soon.